The opinions expressed on this program are those of the program host and guest and are not necessarily those of this station, management, staff, and sponsors. WSTU does not endorse products that may be mentioned. Any reproduction or retransmission of this broadcast is strictly prohibited without written consent of WSTU. It's time now for the Crown Car Care Show. Call in with questions and comments 220-9788 220-WSTU. Now, here's your host.
April 23rd, 2025.
It is. The year is flying by.
Topic for today: your car deserves better than being a mobile dumpster.
Yes, I think so.
Here's a question for everybody.
Okay.
When was the last time you cleaned out your cup holder? Now, be honest. We know it's holding more goo than the coffee these days. And I've seen plenty of them.
Yeah, candy wrappers, all kinds of things.
Yes,
right?
And here's a funny stat. I'll tell you, and we were talking about it before the show. The average car interior has more germs than a public restroom toilet seat.
Oof.
And it's true.
All right, so you can feel more comfortable going to the public restroom
than going in your own car.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that there is a good percentage of people that keep their cars clean.
Yes.
How do I know that?
Because you get to.
Because Crown Car Care is the sponsor of our show.
That's right.
And I get to see firsthand how people's cars are. Now, a lot of people prep their cars before they bring them in.
Yes.
So they stage them. They stage their cars.
Right. Well, just like before company comes over, you clean your house.
Well, you stage your car.
Right.
So but a lot of people don't. And I can tell you 50-50 probably.
Right.
In terms of people that really keep their cars clean and the ones that don't, and the ones that keep their cars really clean and maintained, I tell you, spend less money.
Yeah.
There's a correlation.
Yeah.
And hopefully by the end of this show, we'll kind of figure out why. There's a lot of things that we've talked about this, that if you're conscious enough to take care of the interior and exterior of your car, then you're going to be more aware of
what's going on the
inside of your car as well. And it just translates into the behavior. I don't know per se that keeping your car waxed and cleaned is going to stop the repairs, but the type of person that is going to be doing the type of cleaning and waxing and keeping their car clean from a visual standpoint are going to maintain their car a little bit better.
It's instructive and indicative of a personality type. Yes.
That's right. That's right. And I'll tell you, if anyone wants to call up and give us some of your messiest confessions.
Oh, yeah.
I'd like to hear about beer being spilt, other organic matter, French fries, burgers, dogs, babies.
Yeah.
Oops. Little kids.
Sure.
They have lollipops and they fall out of the mouths and they stick to carpet.
Yeah, because now the kids have little devices. The mom will hand them their phones so they can play on the, on the device while mom is driving.
Yes.
It used to be when you and I were kids, they would give us maybe a bag of popcorn or bag of chips or something.
Or we'd keep track of license plates.
Right.
Games like that.
But, we'd have something to munch on and would leave stuff in the car too. Right.
We used to, when we were at night, the car, and I don't know why it was in our family, but the vehicles, if they had the taillights were all the way across, a lot of Dodges they called them the litter bug cars.
Yeah.
Don't know why. Maybe I saw when we were kids or in that we saw people dumping trash out. But remember the cars that had the taillight lens all the way, like a Dodge Fury.
Yeah.
A lot of the old Dodge and Chrysler products had the taillight lens. It lit up all the way across the entire bumper.
It's probably a good idea too.
Oh, it looks good too.
Probably cut back on rear end collisions on those cars.
And a lot of many of the cars that had that on the back, the front looked like an electric razor.
It did. It really did.
It did.
Now that you mention it. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Sure.
The grill all the way across. The vertical.
Yeah.
Not the rotary ones.
No.
Because how at Christmas time, how Burl Ives and the snowmen get around. They sit on those electric razors and glide through the snow.
That's right.
There was an ad for Norelco.
That's right.
Do you remember that?
Sunbeam and Norelco.
Yeah,
sure.
Sunbeam.
Yeah.
That was a local company here.
Yeah.
Florida. Jim, I can't think of his name. He took it over. He ended up cutting themselves to profitability by firing everybody.
Yes.
Yeah. We're finding that now.
It's sometimes things
You're fired.
Things kind of work full circle.
You're fired.
Things that we learned before still work today.
There was a TV show that where he would go, "You're fired."
Yes.
I can't think of who it was.
Yeah, it was
somebody
famous.
Long hair.
Yeah.
And then you wrap it around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like a swami. Just don't get in the wind.
There's a visual for you.
Okay, so the interior of your car, you have to clean the carpet.
Yes.
Right. You want to keep your plastics and vinyls clean. You clean your seats.
Yeah.
You clean your floor mats, and then there's smells.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you clean the carpet? Any ideas?
Well, start with vacuum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's other ways too.
No, so the spray. There's actually some nice spray on carpet cleaners.
What my wife has told me is some of these local there's these car washes popping up in Martin County that are like a self-serve car wash, but the exterior of the car is done automatically, but then you pull around and it has vacuum and all the chemicals. And there's an agitator brush.
Oh yeah.
That will agitate the carpet while it's vacuuming.
Mm-hmm.
And that will get some of the ground
the
in
deep. Yes.
Particles or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Dirt. And
yes.
Pebbles. I find a lot of pebbles show up in my car.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like little rocks.
Yeah, because they stick in the tread of your shoes.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. And they just somehow mysteriously get inside there.
Yes.
Okay. We talking about these Dodge Furies with the taillights. Okay. So we have a customer that it's from the mid 60s. It's a Dodge. It was his mother's car. And it only had under 30,000 miles on it, but all the seats had a clear coating on it, like a wrap.
Wow.
And people used to do that with their sofas at home. It's like
yeah, my Aunt Dorothy did that.
She did?
Yes, we'd go to visit Aunt Dorothy, and she had the clear vinyl.
They did cars like that.
Sure.
And this car, has that on it. But if you look at the seat, it's a cloth seat.
Yeah.
But it's almost like those pillows that you'd see, like an embroidered pillow, the way the cloth material looks.
Yes.
Very
plush,
pretty.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it was almost embroidered in. But it was perfectly preserved with this clear plastic.
Oh, I imagine so.
And it still smelled in the inside with that vinyl-y shower curtain smell.
Sure.
Even to this day.
Isn't that amazing?
But I don't know if they do that anymore.
No.
Maybe we should start a business
that
doing
would
the
be
clear
fun.
Vinyl covering.
Sure. You'll get customers, I guarantee.
You will.
I think so. People, so so paints are protective coatings all by themselves, right?
Yes.
And so customers will come into the store and then they want to put a clear on over their paint to protect the paint. I go, well, the paint is already a protective coating, so you want to protect the protective coating. So I have a hard time wrapping my head around that.
Well, that was my next. I have some notes here.
Mm-hmm.
Floor mats.
Yes.
Okay. I'm assuming we have floor mats to protect the carpet.
Yes.
Okay. But then there are people that buy floor mats to put over the floor mats to protect the carpet.
No, say it's not so.
Well, one of these guys is sitting right here. Okay, so on my Tesla, I have to come to the confessional.
All right.
I'm coming to the confessional. Okay.
Oh, here we are. Bless me, for I have sinned.
So I have funny ways of Todd.
All right.
Okay, so in my Tesla Model 3, 2023, I think. We've talked about it. I bought it used from Hertz Rental Car. 75,000 miles on it now.
Mm-hmm.
And we did a report.
It had 40,000.
40 on it.
So you just about doubled it.
Yep. No issues other than the small 17-volt battery that would be like your regular 12-volt battery on a car. That's all I've ever done. Set of tires and wiper blades.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. It came with floor mats. Yeah. But I bought these, now with lasers and injection molding technology, there's companies out there that make exact fitting inserts that are more than a floor mat.
Yes.
Because it seals up against everything. So if you spill a liquid, it doesn't go anywhere.
Right.
And I put those over my floor mat.
Okay.
And I kept the floor mat in there because I wanted it raised up a little bit.
Okay.
And it's just more cushy too. Because it's more, there's resiliency and cushion now. Correct. Because there's the floor mat other than just the bare carpet.
It feels good underfoot.
Okay, but that's why I did it.
Got
So I have a carpet, floor mat, and then a floor mat.
Okay.
And I've seen people put towels
I've seen that.
over the floor mats
Sure.
if they go in for service.
It used to be back in the day, people would put towels to hide the holes in the floor pan,
Or beer cans.
or or license plates.
Yes.
Have you seen that?
Yes, and people will get the old license plates and they're collectible.
Yes.
The old ones.
Yes. So there's.
Now,
yeah.
we're talking about the interiors.
Yes.
Many parts of the interiors, probably up till the mid 80s,
Mhm.
were metal and they were actually painted.
Mhm.
Painted.
Oh yeah.
So that was a different care that you had to do.
Mhm.
You almost polished or waxed
Mhm.
the metal on the inside of your car.
Yes.
Okay. I don't ever really see too much metal
No.
anymore.
Last time I saw that was my mom's 61 Chevy. She had a
Well, that
Chevy.
was just a couple weeks ago.
That
Right?
was her 60.
That was that long ago?
Yeah, I inherited that car, but 61 Chevy Bel Air.
Oh, that's a big beast.
The Bel Air was a nice car, and because that was the model down from the Impala.
Our friend John had an Impala.
Yes, he did.
And
the
we know what an
beast.
Impala is. It's a
Oof.
deer
Yes,
from Africa.
it runs like the
In
the
fact,
wind.
the emblem is a deer,
It
if you look
is.
at it.
Exactly right.
Okay.
Mhm.
So most of the vehicles today, in fact, I don't know of any metal ones. I really don't. I don't think I've seen them.
No, that's
In the
just-
last 10 years.
right.
I think we can safely say that.
Yes.
How do you protect the inside and what should you do? Now, do you remember a couple of weeks ago we had those cleaners? on here?
Yes, I think
Okay.
cleaners are a good start.
And we had that Armor All brand that was their premium line.
right.
I like that because it doesn't put any residue on and you're safe to do it on any part of the interior.
Right.
You have to watch when you're cleaning your interior that you don't use certain enhancing products for vinyl in getting overspray on some of the clear lenses because it will turn it cloudy
Mhm.
and then you're done unless you get some clear plastic polish like you'd see on for boats
Right.
and you'd have to polish out the haze. I
Mhm.
think it actually eats up the plastic,
Yes.
right?
Yeah,
It's
there's-
actually marring the
There's
plastic.
a strong solvent in there. Yep.
And that's what's going on. So
Mhm.
you have to be careful. But it is critical. Now, a lot of these protectants have a UV protectant in it with, Florida, the sun. You need to keep it clean and you need to protect it, especially on the top of the dash. Do you remember the carpets that you'd put on top of your dash, Frank?
Sure.
Well,
You remember there's actually some aftermarket companies that make carpet with bound edges,
Yes.
and you can put that over your dashboard
well,
too.
I've got a business idea planned. for
Okay,
you if you're interested.
Yes.
We have so much idle
Sign
time.
sign me up,
Okay.
coach.
We are going to start selling
Yes.
dashboard carpet
Mm-hmm.
as well as the clear covering.
Yeah. Oh, yes. The clear vinyl.
Yeah.
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 Sure.
And if we're binding carpet, we might as well start selling toupees.
Now, so
Isn't that carpet?
how does that clear vinyl, how does that work in extremely, because how hot does it get inside the car?
Well,
Truthfully, it gets a little toasty.
I think you could run into some issues here in Florida because this car that we're talking about that is a customer of mine, it's a Cove Road store. He
Mhm.
lives in Miles Grant, great guy.
It's a garage car.
It's a garage car, so
Yeah.
I don't know, but this
Yeah.
vinyl could get slippery.
It could melt. That's what I worry about.
You could get burned.
I wonder what the melting temperature is of that vinyl.
I don't think it's.
Yeah.
I would think.
You hope
You
it's
know,
pretty high, huh?
I hope because the car interior can get quite hot. Well, we read about stories
Yeah.
with children being
Yeah.
locked in a car. And
Dogs,
it gets a couple hundred,
yeah, sure.
300 degrees.
Oh yeah, it
It
gets.
can easily get that hot.
Yeah.
The greenhouse effect, you know what I mean? This-
Mhm.
The heat goes in and it doesn't go out, so it just keeps compounding.
Right, and
Okay.
right, and it goes talking about air conditionings and air conditioners. A house air conditioner is about a 2 or 3 ton unit, right?
Yes.
Your car air conditioner puts out the equivalent of a 3-ton unit.
Now that I never knew. That's true though. Yes.
Yes,
It's very efficient
it's very efficient, but you need all that
to cool it down. That's
because
the point.
you have the whole vehicle is a big heat sump. You know.
So really, in summation, the interior, you need to really, the most important thing is vacuuming it,
Yes.
keeping the dirt out,
Mhm,
and
mhm,
keeping the organic material.
mhm.
Eat your French fries. Don't put them on the floor.
Yeah.
Right.
In your mouth, not on
I've
the floor.
noticed some of this fast food,
Uh.
it doesn't break down. It just gets hard.
Yeah. It
Is it really food we're eating?
it doesn't even develop mold or anything. No. I
What
know.
are we eating?
I know.
It's kind of
It's a little scary. A little scary.
Am I right?
Oh, very true.
Because I have worked on, many times customers will come in and their
Mhm,
seat doesn't work,
mhm.
and it'll be a coin or something. They'll be stuck in the track,
Yeah.
or a French fry.
Oh,
Right, because the electric
Sure.
track has to move, and if it catches something binding,
Yeah.
the seat will stop working.
Of course.
There's an overload in there. It detects the amperage that is being drawn by the electric motor,
and
and
there's probably
the
a
smart technology will just stop the
circuit
seat.
board.
Yeah, it
Mhm,
stops it from working.
Yep.
And then it's our job to go under there and fish out what we find.
mhm.
And I can tell you, I found many of things in cars.
I bet so.
Many of things.
Yeah.
I have found underwear, socks, mittens, you name it, hats, organic, French fries, food,
Paperwork.
you name it, canceled checks.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have found illicit things in there too.
Oh, I imagine.
I
yeah.
have found.
Whoops.
I
Yeah.
have
Yeah. Whoops.
drugs. I
Yeah,
have
you
at
don't
times.
mind.
I have found it.
Yeah. So do you know?
I just get rid of
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I just flush
Yeah.
it. I just
Yeah.
dispose of it. I don't even say anything. I
No.
just dispose of it. I think it opens a can of worms. But if I find something and I'm working on a car,
Yeah.
it's the discretion. What do we do?
Mhm.
A lot of times we'll find money.
Oh yeah. Put it in an envelope.
I have also witnessed
Yeah.
customers setting up with planting money to see if you take it.
Yes, I had a customer try
Yes.
that to me. I was hanging blinds in Sailfish Point, and it was in a master bedroom,
Yes.
and I had to lean over a dresser in order to hang this blind in this window.
Yes, yes.
Okay, and what was on the dresser but a money clip with $100 bills?
Mm.
And I go, so I called the owner and I says, "Do you mind? Can you just come here and watch me hang this blind?"
Yes, because we have run into it more at the dealer level.
Yeah.
Than like independent shops like
Mm-hmm.
Crown Car Care. We have two locations right here in Martin County,
Right.
and I'm the owner.
You are
My
indeed.
wife is the owner. I have a
She is.
son, Max, who works at the shop now.
Yeah.
He's a full-time technician,
Nice.
working every day, fixing cars and doing oil changes and making recommendations on things we find. And he's doing a fine job.
Great.
He's learning balancing tires and doing alignments and things of that nature,
Yeah.
which is
Critical
you have
stuff.
to learn it.
Yeah.
And it's like any trade, you have to learn it hands-on.
Yeah.
You really do.
Yeah. It's not book learned. I mean,
no,
you
you need
read
to
about
have
it. Yes.
He gets the book learned from just living with me and my family.
Yes.
Be-
Right. No, but
you have to have hands-on.
got to roll up your sleeves.
And you have to have a willing enough repair shop that will bring the young
Bucks
men
in.
and women,
Yes.
the young bucks up
Yeah.
to speed. And I do that at Crown Car
Yeah,
Care. So if
yeah.
you ever want to know, at Crown Car Care, both locations, I have several under 20-year-old technicians
Isn't that great?
that are fabulous.
Sure.
Billy over at Cove Road, my
Studious,
son,
yeah.
my son and Roland over
Mhm.
here in Palm City. So
Mhm.
if any of you, if that sounds interesting, if you'd like to meet some of the young technicians that
Mhm.
are up and coming in the field of auto repair and maintenance, come by and see us.
Yeah.
I'd love to introduce you to them.
Yeah.
They're fine people,
Yeah.
and I teach them,
Isn't that
and
great?
all of us teach them.
Right.
Us old timers teach them. Never thought I'd be an old timer,
I know it.
but I am.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, me and you are going to start selling clear seat covers.
I
I'm
love
telling
it.
you, I think it's
It's a
but we have
it's
to
a
look
game-
into this melting point.
yeah,
Right?
It's a game changer.
It's a game changer. What about smells, Frank, on the interior? How do you get rid of
How do you get rid of them? Roll down the window.
those?
That's the first thing I aim for.
I don't know. Oh, I don't know.
No. All right.
So remember we brought in some of that new car smell that was
Yeah.
by the chemical guys.
Hmm.
I thought it was pretty close, but you had said it also smells like the dry cleaning solution.
Yes, carbon tetrachloride. Mhm.
It did.
Yeah.
You brought it to my attention. and I'm like,
Yeah. And you said, "Oh yeah, I know that smell." Right?
Yes.
It comes back, and that's one of those things that your brain memory and aromas it just
Well,
triggers
I
right
remember
away.
when I lived in California for a short period of time after graduating from college, I worked for a company called G&K Services, and one of my jobs was to pick up the gloves from Gallo Winery and bring them to the Glovatorium.
The Glovatorium.
That was the name of the place.
Sure.
Isn't that a great name?
I think
All they did is clean gloves.
Yes.
In these giant dry cleaning machines.
Yeah.
And that's how they cleaned them.
Wow. What were the gloves made out of?
They were that
Cotton?
It was
or-
like a fuzzy type. Remember
wow.
the yellow gloves that you would buy, more on the inexpensive side,
Right, like a flock covering. Yes.
Yes.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm,
Yes.
mhm.
Fuzzy, and if you kept digging through the fuzz, you could wear through. You could dig through the other side.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know how to say. It was like a compressed fiber that was.
Hmm.
It wasn't woven.
No.
It was. I think they took fibers and they pressed it together.
Wow.
I think. But you worked on yard gloves.
Yeah.
But not the cloth ones. They're like fuzzy. Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear.
Fuzzy
Wuzzy
Wuzzy had no hair. Yes.
Let's take a break.
Okay. All right. All right.
The opinions expressed.
We'll
on
be
this
right
program-
back. So stay tuned. We'll be right back shortly. All right, we're back. Just when you thought it was safe.
Talking about, we were talking about the interior smells.
Mhm.
Charcoal bags.
Yes.
That stuff you buy. It's a dry rid or
Mhm.
damp rid.
Damp rid.
Rid works.
Mhm.
Good. Get moisture out and
Mhm.
smells because we live in the humidity will also induce smells,
Yes.
especially if there's like stuff in the car.
Yes.
Bacteria in the
Yes.
interior or the
Yes.
AC. Now,
Mhm.
one of the services that we do at Crown Car Care is we can deodorize your AC, and it's a legitimate, real service.
Yes.
Real.
So there's like a coil, just like in your house.
Your home. It
Mhm.
needs to be cleaned,
Mhm.
disinfected, and then
Mhm.
there's a chemical that we put on there that what is it? Inhibits the growth of bacteria.
Yes.
So it doesn't stop it completely,
Right.
but it inhibits it.
Right.
I can't say it's 100%.
Right.
The only thing that's 100% is what?
God.
Death and taxes.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Indeed. That's it.
Okay. Frank, what unique challenges does Florida bring to us with the exterior of the car?
Oh, well, we got
Unique.
unique other than the sun.
Yes.
The sun is unique, so we have to worry about sun fade. you
And
know.
that's the paint's fading faster than a beach towel.
Mhm. Ooh. That's one thing, and you have to be careful of the flying dive bombers.
What else? There's something we're both missing.
What else? Oh, bugs.
Love bugs.
Love bugs.
What do you know anything about love bugs?
Yeah, I know that a lot of highways sometimes have pullover stations where you can wash the love bugs off your car.
It's a unique challenge from the annoyance side.
Right.
Okay, but there's something that can happen with the insides of these things.
Yeah,
Because-
these bugs actually will. They have an enzyme in their bug juice that actually will etch into and destroy your paint.
Wonder if it's good drinking the bug juice.
I wouldn't.
When I was when I go to Boy Scout camp, when we had when we had dinner and stuff, they would call it bug juice.
They did. Yes, but that was just that was just Kool-Aid.
Don't drink the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, yeah.
But it wasn't bug juice.
No. It was just the name. But I will tell you that sometimes bugs did get into your Kool-Aid and you would drink it anyways.
Me too.
Yeah.
If you're thirsty enough.
Yeah.
You'll drink anything.
You betcha.
Yes. What can we do for lug bugs to prevent them? Is there anything?
Yeah, a couple of things I used to do. So before a long trip, I would sometimes take a spray can of spray oil.
Yes.
Like Wesson oil or something like that. It's just
WD-40 works too.
Mm-hmm.
And coat it.
And spray just your bumper, your grill, and like that. So
and it doesn't take long. If you leave lug bugs on for like 3 or 4 days, it will eat into the paint.
Yeah. So what I recommend when you get up in the morning, because the morning dew actually does a great
softening up of the material.
Yep. And you just could hose them right off.
I remember there was a period in the 90s when people put these nets up in the front.
Yes, I remember that. You remember the little screen too?
Yeah. Do you think we could sell those with our car cover?
Sure. We'd have the whole inside and out. We'd car care.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mats for the dash.
Yes.
Clear covers, and then the nets in the front.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I think we've got a $1 million business idea.
And you should have curb feelers too for the fenders.
Oh yeah.
Remember the curb feelers?
A lot of those in New York City. In fact, there was a movie that I used in Superfly.
Superfly, yeah.
These fly cars. I don't know why they
I don't know.
But they had curb feelers on.
Curb, yeah.
And a lot of them had like
the fuzzy dice.
Yeah. Air freshener. They had I can remember air freshener fuzzy dice.
Sure.
And then
there's
the pine tree.
Oh yeah. It's ever popular.
There is one person that invented that. I don't know the name, but we should read quite a story.
I bet there is.
The person that makes the pine trees. And now they have all different smells.
Oh, more than pine.
Yeah, they have black ice is the most popular. That I can tell you. Black ice is their most popular selling.
Wow.
It's shaped like a pine tree. It's black and it says black ice on it.
Have you ever experienced black ice on the road?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's up north. That's north. People know what it is.
It is.
It's bad.
It'll make you have that come to Jesus moment.
Did you ever? Does anyone of our listeners remember when there'd be a heavy snowstorm and the snow plows would start plowing the snow and there'd be salt in it?
Yes.
And when you'd go to get gas, you'd ask the attendant, "Could you kick off the clumps of behind each wheel?"
Yes.
And it would drop.
Good chunk.
A big chunk of ice would come out. I mean, a big hunk.
Yeah. Brown, gray ice.
And I can remember working as a full service gas attendant in Libertyville, Illinois, on the corner of Milwaukee and Park Avenue.
All right.
Rouse's gas station. I was a full service attendant.
Of course.
And on my belt was a coin.
The coin changed.
It held dimes, nickels, and quarters.
Yeah.
And you'd push a lever.
Right.
And I got pretty good at it.
Yeah, I bet so.
Yeah. But that with the ice at the end of the evening, you'd have to get a snow shovel.
Sure.
And push away all these clumps.
Yes.
And it wasn't white snow. It was
no.
It was dark. And then talking about the black
ice. Yeah.
Just horrible.
Yes.
But I missed those days and I remember it.
Yeah. It's good memories.
You're from Michigan, so you know what I'm talking about.
Good to leave them as memories.
Further north, you got even colder weather than we did up in Chicago.
Well, probably.
Well, we did have the Windy City.
Yes, you get the wind. Yeah.
I used to wear a zip up. I called them a union suit.
Yes,
it was a zip up thing.
Oh, one piece.
Oh
yeah, I love those things.
Yeah, it had a little belt in the middle. For some, you didn't need the belt, but the belt was there for decoration.
I think it breaks up the visual thing. Yes, so it looks so you don't look like the Easter Bunny. Hop to it.
Okay. So what do we do to take care of our paint? And this is critical. Worthy of a lot of material,
right?
And we need to really do a conversation on this.
All right.
When I was a boy, my father bought this stuff called Wesley's car polish.
Okay.
It was in a blue and yellow can. I believe it was a synthetic wax. I don't believe it had carnauba in it. I believe it was synthetic. And he would have me. I would do it for allowance money. I would wash and wax our red Ford Pinto station wagon and our amber bronze metallic 4-door Ford Maverick no air conditioning, no power brakes, no power steering, straight six.
Wow.
Can you imagine that?
Wow.
No air conditioning.
No air conditioning.
No power brakes.
Wow.
No power steering.
No power steering. That's right. That sounds like my mom's 61 Chevy.
Ford Maverick.
Yeah.
And
that's a great car.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
And we had a red Pinto.
And it was a 4-cylinder, right?
6-cylinder. It was a straight six. Now,
straight
the Ford
six,
Pinto that we had at the same time was a Pinto station wagon. And it was a 4-cylinder, automatic.
Yeah.
Both were automatics. And I used to wax. The Maverick was metallic, and the Pinto was a red, just solid color. And they didn't have clear coats back then.
No.
So you had to wax your car regularly back in the 60s and 70s to prevent it from fading. And I'm talking about the actual color fading, not the clear coat fading. Because today what we get is we do get color fade, but it's more from the perspective that the clear coat that's over top of the paint is fading. And that's what we need to protect.
Right.
Clear coat. So how do you protect it? Do you use a Carnauba wax? Do you use a ceramic coating, which is SiO2, which is a silicon dioxide? Do you use a synthetic wax? Do you use a detailing spray? What do you use?
On Florida, I'd recommend a synthetic wax.
Me too.
Yes.
That's correct.
Yeah.
You're right on.
Right. Because it's going to be less temperature sensitive.
That's right. Carnauba wax, comes from a tree. I don't know what tree it is. Carnauba tree, maybe?
Probably.
It is the Carnauba tree.
Likely.
Yes.
Yeah. Generally, my life experience is a lot of these things, not a lot of thought went into the name.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Some of these older cars had natural wood on the inside.
Yes.
And they were shellacked. Do you know anything about shellac?
Just a few things. Yeah.
What can you tell us? What can you tell our listeners about shellac?
Shellac comes from the lac bug.
Bug?
Yeah. It was most famously used back in ancient Egypt for the pottery.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
And there's different colors of it too, right?
Yeah, white shellac and orange shellac.
What was the orange shellac?
That was the bug juice.
It was the guts.
Yeah.
Oh. And shellac is, if I'm not mistaken, you can buy it in flakes or hard form, and you mix it with turpentine.
You actually buy it in liquid form.
You can.
Strictly liquid. It's in alcohol suspension.
Do they still sell it now?
Yep. And it's suspended in alcohol. Like, yeah.
I haven't seen that ages.
Yeah.
I can remember as a boy, shellac. And it was almost used as a verb.
Right.
Scotch tape the window or the envelope and then shellac the wood.
Yeah.
Right. We used it as a verb, but it was actually a product.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So how often should you wax or coat your car?
Yes.
Isn't that a good question?
That is a great question. How long should you do that, Todd?
I think about every 3 months you should do it.
Wow. Yeah.
Now,
otherwise, you're going to get oxidation.
Now, here's the question. Everyone goes through these car washes today. Is it helping by getting the extra coatings that they sell as an add-on?
It's a good question. It probably doesn't hurt.
Yeah, I'm not going to say it's foolproof,
right?
But I think it helps.
Yeah, anything is better than nothing.
Yes,
that's my thought on that. But should you do more at home? Yes.
Do you know when it's time to clean a car on the outside?
Yes, I do. Why don't you tell us when is it time, Todd?
If you can write "wash me" on it, it's time.
I think that is exactly right. Yes,
right.
I've seen that, and I've seen that in traffic. Have you seen that in traffic?
Yes, I see it on the back of trucks, like the roll-up doors. It'll say "wash me."
Yeah.
Or Kilroy was here.
Kilroy.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
Do you know where that's from?
That's from World War II.
That's correct.
Yeah.
It's a nose, actually. It's a nose. A guy peering over a bunker.
Kilroy was here.
I don't know who Kilroy was. I don't even know what that means.
Yeah.
I believe it was the name of an album by a band.
It could have been.
Kilroy was here.
Yeah,
but interesting. So really, what are we trying to tell everybody? That doing nothing with your exterior and your interior
is not a plan.
Isn't a good plan.
No. It's a plan, but not a good
I mean, I don't detail at my shops, but I'd be more than willing.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a real good product that works if you're looking for a speed wax that really is decent. Lucas makes a speed wax and it smells like bubble gum.
Yeah, I've got that. I bought that from you some years, and it's nearly empty. I need to buy
wonderful.
Yes, it is
wonderful.
and I'm going
to tell you another trick.
Yeah, it does a good job.
Who has the condition or the problem when they get in the morning and their windows are all fogged up?
Oh yeah.
Do you know that waxing the windows on the inside and out really cuts that down?
Yeah,
it does.
It's amazing.
It really works.
When your car's, so especially if you have a new car, the VOCs, the chemicals gas off, and they leave a film on the inside of your windows and all your surfaces inside the car. So that's another reason.
That's interesting. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of that new car smell is.
Right.
Is the VOCs coming out. And there is a haze that'll start inside of a car if you don't keep it clean.
Yes.
Wax the inside and outside of your windows to prevent fogging up of your windows in the morning. That's not 100%, but it certainly cuts it down to where it's tolerable.
Yes.
And another thing I can tell you is change your wiper blades.
Yeah.
When you have dry, cracked wiper blades that actually get like a hardened, it's actually scratching your window. If you've seen a car that no one's maintained, you can wash the car and you can actually see the etching into the glass of the worn out wiper blade.
Yeah.
I've seen people come in the shops that there's no blade left. It's metal on metal.
Metal on glass.
I do. I mean, metal on glass. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. You'd be shocked.
Oh.
The stories I could tell.
Oh.
I've had exhaust system held up with wire.
Of course. Yes. That sounds like some Detroit engineering I grew up with.
I've seen beer cans and Coke cans wrapped around the exhaust.
Of course.
To fix a muffler leak.
I've seen that too.
Muffler tape.
Muffler tape.
AKA beer cans.
Yeah.
Do you remember beer cans didn't have pull tabs? It was pop can. You had to use a triangular device that you would open it.
Same thing you used for the evaporated milk.
Yes. Yeah. Your evaporated milk has actually sugar in it.
Oh. Sweeten it up a little bit.
Or no, it's condensed.
Condensed.
It's condensed.
So yeah, it's the word evaporated. So that's one of my joke routines is if it's evaporated, how come there's stuff in there? Jesus, but yeah, so basically they just boil out some of the water.
Right.
Yeah.
But there is one of the two I know has sugar in it. I think it's condensed, I believe. There's a different terminology.
Condensed and evaporated.
If any of our listeners want to call up and correct us on it or email us.
If you're into cooking, you should know this.
Yes. Yes. And I'm
into eating.
If you're into fish and not eating them, I have a live cichlid tank over at my Cove Road store.
Yeah. Yes. Don't bring any fish hooks with you.
No, because they're big. Some of them are big.
Bring your camera.
Bring your camera and you take some pictures. And I'd urge every one of you to stop by one of my locations. Even if I'm not there, you can ask any one of our staff. You can meet our young technicians that I had working for us that are just brilliant, friendly, nice,
eager to help.
Good-looking young men.
Sure.
They're strong.
Well, they have to be to pick up all the tires and do all the tire rotations.
And here's a challenge for every one of you.
Yeah. Those tires are heavy.
If you've never checked your spare tire, come by and we'll check it for you.
Yeah. That's a great idea.
Bring your car by and we'll check your spare tire. Just come by and ask and we'll do it for you. No charge. Just come by.
Yeah.
And ask. Most people don't check their spare tire anymore.
Yeah.
And I will say most cars have a spare tire, and it might not be a full-size spare tire.
Right, the donut.
But that has to have air in it.
And please do everybody a favor. If you have to put a donut on your car,
yes,
don't ride in the highway and don't go highway speeds.
Yes, it's not meant to go fast. It's meant to get you to Crown Car Care so we can get your either tire fixed or replaced for you.
Yes. And explain to the listeners why you're not supposed to go fast with that.
There's several reasons. There's a safety issue just with the casing of the tire in terms of higher speeds, but also if you're putting it on, if it's a front wheel drive car and that donut is a little bit smaller in diameter than the other wheel, you're going to be putting a strain on the drivetrain on the inside, the ring and pinion and the differential gears.
Right.
You could damage those. Safety is the main reason.
Right.
You're going to decrease remember.
So, but the rotating speed of that wheel is different than the wheel on the
other side.
Yeah.
So you've got inside
so that's got to be driving your car crazy.
Well, it is. It drives me crazy thinking about it, Frank. It's spinning.
Right.
It's really spinning fast.
Right.
It's spinning faster
Yes.
than the other side.
Correct.
And the axle's spinning faster, but the other side isn't. That means something inside the transmission or the gear or the rear end or the differential is having to compensate for that.
Yeah.
And it's usually a spider gear or a smaller gear that's involved in the differential mechanism of how it works.
And it can do that for a short amount of time.
But there's also safety.
Oh, God.
Remember, your contact patch of your tire is most of your traction. I'll repeat that.
Right.
Your contact patch of your tire is most of your traction.
So that's about a 4 or 6 inch span of the tire touching the road.
Yes.
That's
all you got.
That's it.
You got nothing else.
And you got 2,000 pounds plus of weight that you're dragging around.
No, well, your aunt's not in the car.
No, I'm talking about the vehicle.
Oh, I thought you were talking about your aunt.
No.
Oh.
No.
She's not.
So you got all those vehicles, and you got the inertia. You got the right. So
it's just every bit of it isn't good.
Right.
It's meant to get you to a facility
like Crown Car Care, right?
Because there's not many of us left.
No,
I am a dying.
Well, yeah,
business plan B. Most people
really.
Don't fix cars,
but you're in good shape when the factory auto shops have to bring their cars to you
and they do
because they can't fix them.
Right. And I have young gentlemen that are up and coming that are going to be,
taken over.
Everything has a lifespan.
That's right.
Including me.
Yeah. Including my paint store. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And paint. And if you ever wondered why Frank knows so much about paint, he owned a paint store.
Yeah.
In fact, at the same time, he was a real estate tycoon.
I was not. Stop it.
He owned city blocks in downtown Stuart.
Just
a landlord. You've heard of a slum lord? Well, you're looking at one.
A slime lord.
He doesn't like talking about it, but it's true.
You've been slimed.
Yes. He took all of his earnings from Detroit.
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Detroit.
Dr. Demento.
But you know quite a bit about paint. And it has really aided us in our shows over the years.
It's amazing, because it's chemistry knowledge, right? So chemistry, if you know chemistry,
yes,
there's very few problems you can't solve.
But on a serious note, your knowledge of paint and chemicals has really, our listeners that have listened to us for many years, we've been on the air.
Yeah.
You always are able to comment on paints and the additives and how they're made.
Yeah.
And it's interesting.
It is.
And it's something that the average
doesn't
automotive geek isn't going to know about.
No.
Right? They're not going to know about what you know about. It's just a pleasure to have Frank on the radio because his wit, his intelligence, and his perseverance to deal with me on a weekly basis is enough of that.
It's an easy job.
Yes. And let's take a break.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. All right, we'll be right back. So stick with us. We got just 10 more minutes of showtime. So stick with us. All right.
Frank,
we're back already.
Some people wash their cars so rarely the dirt develops squatters' rights.
Yeah,
it never leaves.
No, it never leaves. It gets into the pores.
It really does. And
and you almost have to
paint breeze. It is kind of porous. I mean, there is porous. You would know that it's not just perfectly.
Nope.
And that's why you put a wax on there to prevent dirt and
That's
things
why
building into the paint.
Right. And that's why a lot of paint jobs are multiple coats, because the pores, so you have these little holes, right?
Okay.
And so when you multiply, when you put several coats on, you're going to close up most of those holes.
Yes. Not all of them, most of them.
But line
And
share
it prevents the dirt from accumulating in the
Correct.
first place. It preserves the paint. And a lot of these paint waxes and protectants have UV protection, so it stops the fade.
Right.
So it
Right.
really is visually, and I'm going to tell you something. I've seen people do it. You get better gas mileage with a wax car.
Mm-hmm.
It's noted. It's real.
Mm-hmm.
I think I saw it on one of those Mythbusters shows or something. Of course, they exaggerated the dirty car. But
Right. Of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
I think we'd like to wrap up with headlights.
Okay.
What can you tell me about headlights today, Frank, that are different than headlights of 1965?
1965, the headlamps were glass.
Bingo.
Right.
Bingo.
Right. Now they're plastic. So they're, I call them glow in the dark lenses now. is that inaccurate?
I'm surprised somebody hasn't stepped in at the federal safety level and done something about this. Whoa. It's a huge issue.
You're right.
It's a big issue.
It should be, and there's no reason for it.
No. Now,
other than the extreme. So the big problem, I think the cost of replacing those lenses is so punitive that most people just live with them.
Yes.
I think that's the problem.
There are many tricks out there that people say work.
Mm-hmm.
I've experienced and done some of them. Right. It's not permanent.
All right.
All right. Cutter's bug spray.
Yes.
If you spray it on the lens, it turns clear again.
Okay.
But it's not permanent.
No.
Because those lenses actually have a clear coat on them.
So those lenses, actually, if you were to magnify them and look at them, they're crazed and cracked. And that's really what you're seeing. So what you're putting on there is helping to
it's almost melding it together.
It's filling those voids, and it visually gives it a better appearance.
It's not really
but fixed. It dries out.
It's not really fixed.
No, it dries out and it stops working.
And it can be hundreds of dollars per lens.
Yes.
That's not including labor.
No. And you can't do it yourself anymore.
And then they have to be aimed and aligned.
Of course.
Now, remember in the glass lens, do you remember when the headlights were round and then they turned square?
Yes.
It was in the 80s, late, mid 70s or 70s and 80s. They were square.
When the new bumper standards came out, they changed the headlamps
to square.
Yeah.
But when you replaced the headlight, you got a whole new exterior of that light too.
Yeah.
You did. And I can remember when headlights would become ineffective on a car that were glass, a lot of times the coating on the inside, the silver that mirror finish that reflects back the light and projects it forward would flake off the inside of the lens, of the glass. And the light would work, but it would be very ineffective because a lot of the lumens of the light would be shining the wrong direction. So it was a steel / aluminum / alloy frame that had 4 screws. They were usually Phillips.
Okay.
And they would break.
Yes.
They would rust and then break, and then trouble starts.
Yeah.
And then trouble starts.
Yeah.
People would get out the baling wire and the twine.
Yes.
And attach you'd have all
what could go wrong?
There's only 4 of them. There's only 4 screws that held that glass thing in. And one would inevitably break.
Yes.
And the screw would be still stuck in the hole where it screws in. So then you'd have to get creative.
Mm-hmm.
And it could turn ugly.
It could, yeah.
Because your headlight lens would be out of alignment.
Mm-hmm.
So you would replace a lens for a customer at Rouse's gas station and it would be pointing to the ground when you got done with it. Then they would complain to the boss. And then
I hate when that
things
happens.
would happen and it wouldn't get pretty.
Yeah. Yeah. So you have to park the car, 20 feet, 10 feet from a wall or something.
Yes, and you want to aim it so it's level.
Correct. Right. And there's a mark you would make on the wall.
Correct.
And then you would try to hit.
Now I'm going to tell you something. Yes. A lot of these cars now have a level built into them.
The driver's side
Yeah, it needs to go in a little bit.
Toes in a little bit.
That's correct.
So that you don't shine a light on the oncoming drivers.
And there's so many aftermarket lights out there that you can put in that are so bright that it can blind the opposing traffic.
Oh my God. Yes.
What do you do about that?
Squint.
There's not much you can do.
No.
Because if you flick their lights, then they flick theirs and it's even brighter.
Yeah, it's even worse. Yeah. And you're not supposed to do that, by the way.
Oh, I did not know that.
What is recommended, according to the traffic safety people, is you actually turn your lights off, flip them on and off.
Oh, don't, because you're actually blinding the person by you doing it.
Right. So that's not helpful. And it would just cheese people off, as opposed to turning yours on and off. They'll go, okay, maybe there's something going on with my lights.
I've driven at night and seen cars.
The best you can do.
I've seen cars that are so faded, the lenses, that you don't even know their headlights are on.
Yeah.
I don't know how they can drive.
Yeah.
And then combine that with fogged out windows. I don't know how the people can see out.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do it.
Yeah, it's a mystery.
Yeah. And then they have taillights that don't work. Okay.
All right.
Here's something for you.
All right.
If 100 cars come in for oil changes at Crown Car Care, what number of those 100 will have some bulb burned on the outside?
Oh, 100 cars, I'd say maybe 10%. 10
over 50 would have a bulb out.
Really?
No doubt.
Wow.
No doubt. Usually a reverse light or a tail light for the license plate. Honestly.
Wow.
Mainly commercial vehicles. They don't maintain them.
Right. Commercial vehicles. But I think
Crown Car Care, though, we bring it to your attention.
Right.
And we fix it.
But if you go into Crown Car Care for your regular maintenance,
you're not going to have that issue because we're checking everything.
Exactly.
We're doing that for you.
Right.
We're the old-fashioned full-service gas station when you come in for an oil change. We're actually looking at your vehicle.
Without the little change machine on your whip belt. Yeah.
I should get one of those and start wearing it.
I love it.
Quarters, nickels, and dimes.
Yes, indeed.
Do you ever find people don't even pick change up anymore on the ground?
No, I do. I'm the only one.
You better believe I do.
Sure.
I pick everything up, pennies and everything.
Sure. And I don't care if they're. So the rule of thumb is if it's heads up, you pick it up. If it's not, you're not supposed to.
I pick anything
sure. It's all good luck for me.
I have found more money in my life because I'm always looking around in different places.
Right.
I can remember going to J.C. Penney's with my parents, and I found a $50 bill going into the door at Lakehurst Mall in Waukegan, Illinois.
Waukegan.
$50 bill.
Good old Waukegan.
And this is in the 70s, so $50 bill was probably a $200 bill. Now.
Oh, yeah.
Well, not 200, but
probably.
$200.
Sure.
They make a $200 bill?
No. Only,
bill.
$100 bill.
$100 bill. Don't they have anything larger? I thought they had larger bills than that.
So why do they call the large denomination bill or just money? Just they call it dead presidents. Did you ever notice that? Why is that?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
There's rumor that they want to put a current president on a bill and Mount Rushmore.
Wow.
I just read about it. I don't know. I don't have an opinion on it. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
Because when's the last time we had a current or, a fairly recent president on a bill or Mount Rushmore?
Yeah, that's true. So Roosevelt made the dime. That was it.
They want to do both.
Yeah, cool. All right.
Hair and all.
Oh, jeez. That would be interesting.
What a great show.
It was a lot
of fun. It was fun. Hope everyone enjoyed it.
Give Todd a call, 781-8000.
Bye-bye, everybody.
All right, take care.